Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Sanik Daniel bin Muhammad Nazir Asmadi and my metric number is 2517649. And today I'm gonna talk about diversity, equity and inclusion is important to consider when crafting media messages. So first of all, we're gonna talk about the foundation of DEI framework. So basically DEI, there are three foundations, which is diversity, equity and inclusion. So what is diversity? Diversity is the presence of differences within a given setting. So as example, hair types, eyes, height and builds, and clothing style. So next is equity. Equity is recognizing that everyone starts from a different place and allocating the specific resources and opportunities needed to reach an equal treatment. So most of the people they're like confused between equity and equality. So what is the difference? So equity is we giving a specific treatment to the person. Like every person have their specific, we treat with a specific kind of treatment. But equality is we treat everyone as the same. So next is inclusion. Inclusion is the practice of ensuring that people feel a sense of belonging, value and respect. So what is DEI? DEI is a foundational framework used by organizations to create fair, respect, and accessible environments. It focuses on the respectful representation of different backgrounds, ensuring individuals get the specific resources they need, and cultivating a welcoming culture where everyone can thrive. So for the introduction is a key part of social justice in diversity, equity and inclusion lies in our language. The word we use to describe physical appearance like hair, eyes, body build and clothing hold immense power. So this slide today gonna talk about a practical tools to ensure our descriptions are objective, respectful and precise, helping to foster shared space that are safe, welcoming and free from harmful stereotypes. So why language is very important? Why language matters? Language is the attention getter and relevance. So every word we print, broadcast or code shapes our cultural environment. Descriptive details regarding height, build, hair, or style carry heavy social implication. Objective and precise adjectives neutralize harmful social cues and foster collaborative workspace built on psychological safety and cultural appreciation. So for the relevance of descriptive language, media consumers encounter hundreds of human portraits daily. Providing adjective helps strip away default biases, allowing the audience to view diverse groups clearly and constructively without structural assumptions. So for call to action is we need to advocate for equitable spaces. We need to pay attention to our local parks, libraries and public transits. If like we found something that is unusual or it's destroyed, we need to make a report to the government or to the town hall. Next is support inclusive public projects. We need to show up for share and fund local initiatives that celebrate cultural diversity. So by participating in this kind of event, we are exposed to other culture, we are exposed to other people, so we know how to treat them with the equity, so that the DEI is performed. So next is public allyship. Make public spaces safer for everyone by actively standing against harassment or exclusion when you witness it. So when we like um, standing against harassment or exclusion when we witnessed it, we can create a welcoming environment by respecting different cultural practices, languages, and identities in shared spaces.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Alif Arif bin Muhammad Nur Azli, metric number 2517851. Inshallah, today I will be sharing on why is it important to consider DEI when crafting media messages. As we all know, a lot of people nowadays have relied on media or digital media especially to gather information. So, one effect of DEI through crafting messages is amplifying public voices. DEI has the power to make the invisible become visible. Imagine if only one or small group of people trying to convey their opinion or problems through social media, it would not have an impact or immediate impact. But through DEI element being used in their or being applied into their media messages, it can attract a lot of people or a huge group of community that will be enabled to make the messages become prominent or vital enough to be seen by appropriate organizations or people with power or authority. Crafting media messages with the element of DEI allows the merging of the voices of the underrepresented community regarding social occurrences. These, pe- these small groups of people, when they found each other messages or posts in digital platforms such as Instagram, X, and Facebook, they will start to reconnect or connecting with one another, forming a community, which make the growing of new population of participatory journalism. This happens because when this group of people um, acknowledge or recognize that their issue is becoming noticeable, a lot of people have become uh, intrigued or interested to share or have the opinion about this issue. They will be inclined without force to share and find information about the issue, and messages become culturally relevant. So when people started to message or uh, present the idea of something a lot or in or frequently, the message become relatable to people. A lot of people will start to notice that, oh, this post is relevant to me. I will start to follow this post and I will start to contribute. I will share my opinion on it. I will try to find information to help solve this problem, etc. In addition, when that previous thing happened, worldwide discussion will be enabled. For example, the hashtag Black Lives Matter through digital media enables open discussions or opinion sharing on racism participated in by a diversity of people from across the globe. That is the power of digital platform or digital media. Especially through the use of hashtag, people can immediately found which post that they want to contribute to, and a lot of people from around the world can just add their opinions and share whatever they want with anybody they want through digital media because of the public voices have been amplified. And when a lot of people start to having discussion on certain issues, companies cannot be negligent. Companies will start to become more accountable. And because they've noticed that this issue has become prominent, a lot of people are keeping tab on it, are keeping an eye on this situation, whether it can be improved or not, whether the government or the certain bodies will ignore it or not. They will start to use various strategies to meet the public's expectations and to maintain their trust. And because of the public voices have been strengthened or amplified, where the minority groups have um, bond together, performing a community, the advertisers have been liking publishers that can portray DEI performance. When publishers are enabled to create messages with DEI element, advertisers are seeking that more nowadays. Through this, we can see that amplify DEI has become a prominent factor in creating media messages because it can amplify public voices, and by amplifying public voices it can accelerate the progress of a lot of bodies to make their move to either solve the problems or make decisions to progress on certain issues.
So moving on to our next point on why DEI is important to be considered when crafting messages. It is because DEI increases the credibility and the accuracy of the media messages. Let's think about this. How can a media messages be accurate if it is not to be considered the diverse perspective of the public? Media messages influence the public and the society understanding towards the message. So when these important things such as the diverse perspective is not to be considered when crafting the media messages, it can lead to unintentionally overlook of, or to say this, unintentionally excluding certain communities or even presenting an incomplete presentation of the media messages. So, by including the diversity, equity, and inclusion, also known as DEI, into the media messages, it can help to ensure that multiple viewpoints is to be considered when crafting or when the process of the media messages is being done. This can result in a better quality of the content that is to be delivered to the public and the society. According to the Wheeler and Waugh 2025, they said that DEI communication should be transparent and supported by concrete evidence to reinforce the authenticity. Why this is important? It is because the credibility and the accuracy comes from the audience trust. So, when the audience feel that the message is honest, balanced, and representing on a diverse perspective of the media messages, thus makes the media messages are more likely to be believed by the public and the society. So, this shows that the DEI is important to be considered when crafting media messages.
Our group believes that DEI is very important when crafting media messages, and one of the reasons is because it can improve the audience engagement and connections. First, DEI can create a sense of representation. So basically, people are more to pay attention to media messages when they see themselves reflected in them. According to UNESCO 2024, diverse representation help the audience to feel seen, to feel valued, and also to feel included. So when people recognize their identities, cultures, or experience in the media content, they feel that the message is relevant to them, so they will want to watch it. Basically, think about this way: if a campaign only talk about one type of a person, many viewers may feel excluded. However, if the content media includes people from diverse ethnicities, ages, genders, and also abilities, more individuals can relate or reflect to the messages. As a result, audience become more interested, more engaged, and willing to listen. Therefore, representation is not just about a fairness, it's also about creating a meaningful connection with the audience. Moving on to the next one, which is second reason, is that DI can expand the audience reach, which is today's society is more diverse than ever, and media messages are often intended for a wide range of people. Here say Deloitte 2024 found that nearly 70% of consumers enjoy content that helps them learn about culture difference from their own. This shows that audience is very appreciate diversity and very interested in perspective beyond their own experience. So basically, when media creators considers DEI, they can communicate with a broader audience rather than limiting their messages to a single group. Whether it is an advertisement, a public awareness campaign, a social media post, or maybe inclusive content, it allows more people to feel that the message is really relevant to them. Consequently, the message reaches more people and become more effective. And finally, DI builds stronger emotional connection. This is because media messages are most powerful when they can make people feel something. According to UNESCO 2024, inclusive storytelling helps foster empathy and trust among the audiences. So when people see authentic and diverse experiences represented fairly, they are more likely to connect emotionally with the message. So basically, this emotion connection is very important because people tend to remember the message that resonate with them personally. So basically, they are also support the organization that demonstrate inclusion and respect for diversity. For example, that I found is brands such as Nike and Dove. They use inclusive advertising to strengthen audience engagement and loyalty. So it helps their organizations to build a stronger relationships with their audiences. In conclusion, DEI improves audience engagement and connection by helping people feel represented, expanding the audience reach, and also to build a stronger emotional connections. So, if media messages are intended to inform, to influence, and also to persuade other people, then they must reflect the diversity of the audience that they serve. Therefore, DEI is not just an option in media communication, but it is a necessity. That's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum, my name is Hafiz Shirul, and today for DEI I will have two subtopics or 2 points that I want to present about. And the first one is how DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, helps break harmful stereotypes. So, as you know, there are a lot of stereotypes, such as one example is that people say that Asians are smart. That is a stereotype. And another one, which might be considered quite offensive, but for the sake of this presentation, I will be saying is that people say Indians smell bad. That this is something that I am not saying. I'm not saying that. That is just a example for the sake of an example. So those are harmful stereotypes, and there are stereotypes for every type of races, right? And diversity, equity, inclusion, aka DEI, helps break these harmful stereotypes, which may hurt the feelings and hurt the feelings of these people of races. So how does it exactly break harmful stereotypes? Well, first of all, it challenges inaccurate and outdated stereotypes. So, stereotypes are outdated and, of course, inaccurate. So by having people representing themselves or representing that race in media, it helps people open their eyes towards that these stereotypes are inaccurate and they are false and they are a stereotype. And so, because of that, it also promotes understanding and respect between all these different communities that coexist in our multicultural generation. And it also reduces prejudice by exposing audiences to diverse perspectives. Like I said, not only Asians are smart, every race is smart. That's what it means to expose audience to diverse perspectives and also promotes understanding. Black people can be smart, white people can be smart, anyone can be smart. It's not a matter of race. That's a stereotype. And the second is DEI benefits businesses as well. Why is that so? First of all, for example, a advertisement features many people of many different races. Let's say someone Caucasian, and then someone black, and then someone from East Asia or Southeast Asia and Central Asia and all that. That is diversity, equity and inclusion. And because of that, doing something as simple as including many people of diverse races and culture, that would help expand your businesses. And why is that so? First of all, it attracts a wider and more diverse audience. Let's say, for example, if there was a Nike ad or a ad featuring Malaysians, I think that the amount or the number of people who would want to buy that, the number of Malaysians who would want to buy that product would increase by tenfold or maybe more. I don't know, but that's an example. Of course, if I were to see a product being promoted or having a Malaysian person in there, I would want to buy it more than I would want to buy other products that feature someone of another race. That's how it goes. That's what it means by attracting a wider and more diverse.
So, lastly, in conclusion, we hope that from our speech, all members of society understand why diversity, equity and inclusion is important to consider when crafting a messages. As a communicators, the choices we make in languages, imaginary and storytelling directly shape how audience perceive the world around them. So, the first one is the media communicator typically apply 4 core DEI principles when crafting messages. So, the first one is amplifying public voices. The second one is increase credibility and accuracy. The third one is improve audience engagement and connection. So, the fourth one is breaks harmful stereotype and help business. So, the next one is, now you might be thinking, what if my audience is mostly similar? What if they all share the same background, same culture and same lived experience? Even then, applying DEI principles in your media messages still matters enormously. It's help you uncover and challenge your own unconscious biases before they slip into your work unnoticed. It pushes you to question the harmful stereotype you may have unknowingly absorbed over the year. And the most importantly, it's help you grow as a communicator, because the best storytellers are not the one who only speak to the people like themselves. They are the one who are willing to step outside their comfort zone, listen to the unfamiliar voice, and tell stories that are bigger than their own experiences. So, lastly, to conclude that, to go ahead and to be kind of the communicator the world actually need right now is to make media messages that celebrate differences rather than erase them. So, amplify the voice that has been silenced, sidelined, and overlooked for far too long. Challenge the narrative that society has accepted without questions. And remember, this inclusion is not a destination you arrive at. It is a daily choices, a daily commitment, built into every word you write, every images you choose, and every story you decide is worth it telling. Because the most powerful media ever created was never kind that spoke to just one type of persons. It's always kind that made every single person that they feel like they matter and like they belong. So that's all. Thank you from me.